Can you please state your name and also what organization you're with?
Sure, I'm Chelsea Volek. I work with Turning Point as the clinical services manager.
And I'm Jean Murray. I'm the Director of Programming and Community Engagement at Mainstay Therapeutic Farm.
Amazing. Well, Jean, can you share one moment or story that inspired you joining Mainstay Therapeutic Farm, and what keeps you keep coming back to work every day here?
Well, what I love about Mainstay is we are a social service agency helping people, but we do it through animals and nature. And for me, that combination, growing up as a horse girl, shows how powerful that can be. And it's a very motivating and fun environment for people. And it just keeps me coming back after I hear all the smiles and laughter and success stories and people achieving their goals in ways that really benefit them.
And Chelsea, with Turning Point, do you have a similar story and example that you can share that keeps you coming back to work every day?
Sure, I think what I love the most is the culture that I work within. Everyone that works there is just very motivated to reach as many people as we can and help as many people in McHenry County that are dealing with domestic violence and trauma. And we have seen such a growth with our programs that I really enjoy trying to find the areas where, we maybe have a need and we can fill that need with other staff that, is already on staff or other staff that we have that we need to hire. But just the work that we do is just more and more important and pertinent to McHenry County, dealing with domestic violence and really seeing adults, children, and the whole lifespan of individuals that maybe have experienced trauma as a child and they're dealing with some things now as an adult that they come back for, or a child that has just witnessed domestic violence that is there and they're just needing a safe place for them to be. Just it's hard work because it's a difficult topic and it's something that obviously isn't all happy and rainbow and sunshine, but also it's important work and we get a lot of just reward from seeing people improving, seeing people, coming back because they know that it's valuable.
Now, Chelsea, how long have you been with Turning Point?
So I actually just started at Turning Point in January of this year.
And what about you, Jean? How long with Mainstay?
About 28 years I've been at Mainstay.
And between those times for both of you, would you say that there has been a success story that speaks to you? Or as an organization as a whole, has there been something that occurred where it just brings you a smile every day or you love just talking about it?
I would say for me, we have folks that'll start with us that are in a wheelchair or using a walker, either post accident or just from a long term disability, and seeing the progress. We have a rider who came to us in a wheelchair. Many years later now, he's walking with the assistance of a cane. The riding strengthens his body and his mind after a traumatic brain injury. So riding is really one of those sports that works on everything: cognitive, social, emotional, partnership with another living being, and just the joy that he gets, as well as the benefits in all those areas in one lesson, really inspires us.
And what about you, Chelsea?
So I think that for our program specifically, we have the shelter, which is more crisis oriented, and so oftentimes we'll see a client that comes into shelter and they're in crisis, they're actively fleeing from danger, and then they move into a safe place, they're living somewhere else, but they're continuing to come to us. And we see this progression of empowerment, we see this progression of success in terms of their own capabilities. They're finally feeling capable of doing things for themselves without their abusive partner, but they're continuing to come to us for that extra support, and they kind of move in this progression throughout our agency. And really, you know a lot of times we see them sort of coming back for a group because they want to continue that extra support. or they come back and they want to volunteer several years down the road because they've had such a positive experience with Turning Point and they're doing so much better. They want to give back.
Well, that's phenomenal, and thank you for sharing both of your stories. And Lake in the Hills Rotary Club is a proud partner to support both of your missions. How has the Rotary Club helped you amplify your mission even further, either this year, past years, or in future years, even?
Well, one of the current things that the reason that we're also here today is we currently have a program running for our clients that is a therapeutic um, small animal program that our clients are able to come here. And any clients that we've done an adult one now, we're doing a teen one as well. And I believe we may be doing an adult child one. And they're any individuals that have experienced domestic violence or trauma and they're able to come here and be with animals in a supportive and therapeutic way, and it's been very eye-opening and very amazing to see the combination of what we're doing to support them through counseling as well as being with the animals, which has been um, just very healing for our clients. So that's been a partnership that we're very grateful to have because of the Rotary.
I think we could say that we wouldn't be able to have those clients out here to the farm without the support of the Rotary. The funding and the grants directly benefit clients being able to participate in activities like this, because without that funding, it just wouldn't be able to happen with budgets as tight as they are at the moment.
And as a not for profit, we totally understand your mission and also sometimes the struggle not for profits go through for just that additional funding aspect. Now, as a not for profit, volunteers are super critical to everyone's mission. Now, what would you say to someone that hasn't volunteered before or is on the edge of volunteering but isn't sure? What is something that you could say to them, whether it's pertaining to your organization or just volunteering as a general statement?
I I mean, anybody that works in the nonprofit field specifically, but I mean, just in general, I've always had the mentality that volunteers are really invaluable. They're an incredible resource to have at any company or agency. For us, our volunteers help us with anything from, file moving, file auditing, to get us ready for, some of our funding audits that we have. To direct client work with our staff. So we have some volunteers that come and help with our children's group that runs weekly, and they're able to help facilitate some of the activities that they do. But anybody that's interested in volunteering, I would say it's one of those things that we are more than grateful and just really it's just so valuable to our agency for to have any volunteers come.
And for us, we really cannot operate without volunteers. Because of the work that we do, we need skilled, trained people to help in groups. We have 40 acres of land, we have 30 animals on the property. It all takes a lot of manpower. And because we run on a limited budget and have only a smaller paid staff, without our volunteers, we wouldn't really be able to do our mission work.
That's phenomenal to hear. And thank you again for sharing for that. And with collaboration being one of the most powerful tools that we have in our belts today, if you could collaborate with, again, Turning Point or any not for profit, and money was not a factor whatsoever, can you think of one event that you would love to do, just no matter how wacky it could be, but something that would be really fun that you would just love to do for the organization?
Well, for us, it's not wacky, but it's really a shift for us. We'd like to move into creating a vocational job training program. Because McHenry County is such a strong agricultural focus, we'd like to be able to do some job training with young adults where they could actually go out after the program and be employed. So right now we're doing animal assisted learning services and adaptive riding and adaptive gardening, but we'd love to move to that shift to be able to help people get jobs. So that's sort of our next step, is figuring out how to fund that, because as we've all been talking about, a lot of it comes down to funding.
And what about you, Chelsea? Do you have anything on your mind that you would love to do, but money's always been an issue?
Um, the main thing that we're sort of working on trying to find funding or figure out the financial piece is we're trying to expand our mental health program right now. So in the past, we had very limited mental health services, but we're finding more and more, even our clients that are in our partner abuse intervention program, which are for individuals that have caused harm. We're seeing developmental trauma coming up and things that really require a higher level of care. We also know that in McHenry County, there's a limited access to mental health care in general, most definitely for our clients specifically that are maybe marginalized for some reason, or have limited access because of financial or transportation issues or other things that really create a barrier for mental health care. So we're trying our best to expand those services within what we have now, but it would be great to really broaden it a little bit more so we could accept maybe Medicaid clients and people that are really seeking access that don't have anywhere else to go right now. So it's very very related to domestic violence and trauma, so kind of expanding that would be great.
And wonderful insights from both of you. And I really hope that we can make those dreams come in reality. Now, a final question for you guys is, if you could tell anyone that is watching this today to get out there, to get inspired, and to have a call to action, what would you tell them right now?
I'll go. I think what you had just said was volunteering, right? Our programs can't run without dedicated volunteers. And it's really great to have our folks be together with other people as well as the animals. And they're great role models, they're great supporters, they're great cheerleaders. And, it's sort of a cliche, but most of our volunteers do say they get more than they give just because of the relationships they form at the farm. So it doesn't have to be hours and hours a week. Even a couple hours a week makes a huge difference for our organization.
Well, I think just in I guess like a broader scale, maybe. But I feel like we talk a lot at our agency about what we can do within our own community and within our own, the county, but also just our community at Turning Point. So we're encouraging even our clients to always be, focused on what's right in front of them and building that up as we're struggling on broader scales right now, maybe in different places, really trying to like focus on what we can do, actionable things and things that are here and have needs like volunteer needs and places that really do require support, which is all of these social service agencies that we're all just trying to do the best thing for our communities and for the people that are here that really require support. So
Absolutely. And we're all here for the community. And if you have a chance to check out Mainstay Therapeutic Farm, definitely check them out, as well as Turning Point, and check out the resources that they offer. Now, Jean, Chelsea, thank you so much for this interview.
thank you.
And we'll see you guys later.
Thank you.
Bye. Now, if Mainstay Therapeutic Farm and Turning Point were a mocktail or signature festival dish for Ribfest, what would it be, and what story would it tell about your work?
You go first because you have the healthy option.
Okay, I'm gonna read my dish. I was thinking Turning Point would be represented by a mixed salad that encompasses a lot of different flavors and textures. So, like a baby lettuce that is nice and soft and tender, crunchy peppers or vegetables, sweet carrots, or some sort of dried fruit that's sweet on top, and then maybe a spicy dressing. Because we're working with domestic violence and trauma, and also no two people that come to us are going to present the same way or have the same needs, and we're all just so different and so unique, and it's all mixed together working together, but it also comes together in a cohesive way.
Well, mine, like I said, not as deep, was a mock tequila sunrise because it's such a beautiful drink, and we have such a beautiful space, and we have the view behind us is Glacial Park, and the sunrise coming up over the Cames is beautiful. And then each day reminds us, right? It's a brand new day. It's a new day to accomplish all the things we want to accomplish.
Fantastic. Well, I hope to try each dish if they ever come to life. So thank you guys once again. I appreciate it.